para naman po sa ating ikonsulta mo, pag-uusapan natin this morning ang isa sa mga issue na matagal nang kinakaharap ng ating lipunan, ang pagkalinga sa mga batang inaabandona ng kanilang mga sariling magulang. Pero bago po yan nating talakayin, let's all watch this first.
Sinasabing karapatan ng bawat bata ang makatanggap ng pagkalinga at pagmamahal. Ngunit ang ilan sa ating mga batang kasangbahay ay tila napagkakaitan nito. Isa sa mga solusyong iminumungkahi ngayon at ginagawang advokasya ng ilan ay ang foster care. Ano nga ba ito? At paano ito nagiging daan upang lumaking busog sa pagmamahal ang mga batang naabandonat na pabayaan? Iyan ang ating bibigyang kasagutan ngayong umaga kasama si Binibining Gigi Sta.Ana-Resurrecion, isang associate partner ng Mentor Group at halos 16 na taon nang nagsisilbing foster parent. Dito lang sa Ikonsulta Mo.
And this morning, kasama po natin dito sa studio si Miss Maria Liza Gigi Sta.Ana-Resurrecion. Siya po ang partner ng The Mentor Group at kabilang din po siya sa nagbibigay ng foster care for abandoned children. Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome.
Good morning.
Wow naman po, napakalaking, napakagaan naman po ng pakiramdam ng ginagawa ninyo. Ano? I mean, although nakapagbibigay po kayo ng kalinga, ng pagmamahal dito sa mga abandonadong mga bata, hindi po ba kayo na-attach sa kanila? At syempre, minsan nalulungkot din pag when it's time for them to go to the, yung mag-aampon sa kanila.
Well, syempre na-attach. It's always, if you are big enough to care for these children, naturally, you will feel very very strongly about them, no? Pagka kinuha mo sila, and we normally care for them for about 2 years, obviously ma-attach kami sa kanila.
But may lumalagpas ba doon na more than 2 years? Kunyari, hindi sila walang foster parent na gustong mag-adopt sa kanila, gano'n. Tapos nagsistay lang sila sa inyo po.
Yes, there was a time na I had a child na who stayed with me for about 3 years.
Wow.
He's very difficult to adopt kasi he was a product of incest, rape, no? So medyo slow ang development niya. He's a
Okay.
special child.
Okay.
It's very difficult to find a parent who will get him. But he was finally adopted in Belgium.
I just like to ask Ma'am Gigi, are you selective in your abandoned children? Or yung lahat lang kinukuha niyo yung mga medyo walang congenital defect? Or wala kayong selective?
No. I think when you go to fostering,
Yeah.
it should be any child. Any child who needs a home. Yeah.
Kasi sometimes, di ba, Angela, Rina, yung pag-aruga sa isang more special, needs more special attention, baka you need a special housing for them. Pero kayo maganda, no? Kasi you don't have a selective thing. You just,
Okay. Fostering in itself as a volunteer home, no? Because there are foster homes who are paid by the government. In which case, they will also have no choice kasi kung sino mailagay na bata.
Yes.
Pero for volunteer homes, you have a choice to specify what type of child would you like. If, for example, gusto ko newborn. Pwede
Yeah,
yun. Kasi anyway, volunteer ka naman eh. Pero in the truest sense of the word, I think the term volunteerism means whatever is given, then you have to get.
Hindi pwedeng magpili.
Yeah, what about the foster parents naman po? May mga qualification po ba tayo dyan? Or do you do a background check also
The
for
DSWD.
those? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the DSWD does they do a background check. And then they ask what type of parenting do you do to your children.
where do you get your funds para sa mga needs ng mga bata? Or kayo na nagbibigay yung mga nag-aaruga sa kanya?
Siyempre, nag-aaruga.
Oo.
Pag binigay sa'yo yan, iyon na yan.
Yeah.
Parang
Okay.
ang dala-dala lang yan kung ano yung pinagbalutan na lang
Yes.
Bahala
Pero
ka na
kayo po
doon.
ba, meron din po kayong anak on your own?
Yes, I have 4 biological children.
So ano naman po yung feeling nila towards dun sa mga pina-foster care niyo ng mga children?
I think it's a blessing because when I started the fostering, my youngest son was only a year old. So, 2 babies namin at home, no? And they grew up with the foster children. So, every now and then, they always see a child na coming in the house.
Hindi ba po ba sila parang nako-confuse na parang these
Dami.
children come and go?
Yeah.
And then usually nga, they get attached to them.
Hindi naman. As a matter of fact, they're all adults now. My children are all adults. The youngest is now 18 years old. And we stopped for a while because our own house help gave birth. So I was thinking na she might think na, nagpo-foster ng iba, tapos sarili kong anak, sariling anak
Hindi
no,
mo alagaan.
So inalagaan muna namin yung anak ng house help namin. And then my children who are now grown said, "Mom, are we not gonna get another child? Because we're all old enough already." And they were saying now, they're all single, that if they have even if they don't have their own families, but if they have their own families, they will also foster.
Paano po ba yung pag-alaga ninyo dito sa mga abandoned children? Meron po ba kayong special way of taking care of them? Or you treat them as normal as possible?
The intent of fostering is really so that the child before adoption will have a life of a family. So mas madali ang integration nila sa totoong pamilya.
Father, mother.
Paano niyo po sabihin, mayroon po bang instance sa inyo nung nag-aalaga po kayo ng mga bata, yung bata mismo nagsabi sa inyo, how do they call you ba?
Mama and Papa.
Mama, ayoko pong umalis. I want to be with you forever.
Oo.
They're normally very young, no? So they leave mga 3.5, 4 years old. Ay, parang pelikula yon. Talagang
Iyakan blues.
Iyakan.
Mama! Ganon pa. Ganon.
Do you get to check yung mga before na nakuha na ng mga foster parents? Do you get to check with them also?
There's a report made by the social worker for about 6 months, and which shows or tells us about the integration of the child with the new family. Normally, it's foreign adoption it's foreign
Jelly.
adoption.
Are you in touch with other families who also do the
Yes.
same? So parang are you part of this network and then do you share parang yung mga insights nyo rin within that network para ma-improve yung way of fostering?
There is an organization that allows for you to mingle with other foster parents. Yes, there is. We're kind of little busy, so hindi kami masyadong nakaka-attend sa mga gatherings na yan. But the family is very involved in it.
What is your most challenging experience yung sa foster care ninyo? Aside from yun, given na yun na pag-aalis na sila, you get attached to them, etc. Yung paano po yung pagpapalaki sa kanila, most challenging?
The most challenging, I think, was the first one. And I wrote an article about it, which came out in the papers. It was very challenging because not only was my child a year old, when they gave him to me, he had tuberculosis. He had lice, he had a broken rib.
Wow.
And he was slow, and he was severely malnourished. He came from an orphanage. And I wasn't prepared for it, I think. I was afraid that my son will get she had chickenpox and measles when they gave him to me. At the same time, So I wasn't prepared for that. I think that was my most challenging experience. I didn't quite know how to handle it. Parang I took more than what I can chew. No, I bit more than what I can chew. Pero God is good He always gives you the grace to surpass whatever it is.
Can you later adopt these children
I
as
have
your
an
own?
yes. Right
when you
now, our
foster-
9th child, we legally adopted him.
Wow.
So we now have a 5-year-old.
Ano po yung mga mensahe yung pwedeng iparating sa ating televiewers, especially dun sa mga parents or yung mga mga couples na gusto nilang mag-foster care din?
When we encourage fostering for most homes, we say, mag-foster naman kayo kasi para yung mga bata, imbisan, alam mo, ang statistics yan, ang sinasabi nila sa orphanage daw, one child, 11 children for a bowl of porridge. Or one child for 200 children for every caregiver. So when we started fostering, we always said, sasabihin ng mga parents, kasi unfair naman sa bata, baka hindi namin mabigyan ng pagmamahal, kulang kami sa oras. Lagi kong sinasabi, sige, wag mo na lang mahalin. Bigyan mo na lang ng pagkain sa araw-araw. Okay na rin yon, basta patirahin mo sa bahay mo. Huwag kang mag-alala sa pagmamahal kasi mamahalin at mamahalin mo yan pag nasa iyo na. When we started fostering, there were many years back, almost 17 years ago, no? There were 75,000 street children in Metro Manila, and there were 2 million homes in Metro Manila. If only every home will get one child, then we will not have street children. Wag na yung don't worry about the love. The love will come naturally.
Kung may connection sila, no?
It's really just a return. Parang I always say, ang advocacy is not really just about the children, but it's a return. You have excess food in your house, get a child.
Kainin. Pero yung mga kids po na napupunta sa inyo and then sa other foster parents, saan po nila kinukuha yung kids?
That's through DSWD.
Through DSWD.
So, pagka dumating, let's say, ang adoptive parents, they will be introduced to us. Siyempre, as respect to those who took care of the child. Oo. And then, the process will take place.
Okay. For those who want to be a foster parent like you po, paano po sila makapag-volunteer o get in touch with you?
Kaming mag-asawa, we joined parenting organization, which is a non-government organization. Ang hope nila is to have more foster homes. There are many other organizations, and DSWD can provide them with a list of these organizations.
Kasi inyo po mismo, personal magpatulong sa inyo. Okay lang.
Okay lang. Marami na rin ako na-refer for fostering. A lot of our friends went into fostering na rin.
Okay, ayan. Yan po ang ating natutunan sa pag-foster ng children. Si Miss Maria Liza Gigi Sta.Ana-Resurrecion, isa po siyang foster care parent. Ayan. Samantala, talaga, huwag kayong magpapalit ng channel dahil magbabalik pa rin po ang inyong paboritong programa sa umaga, ang
Good Morning, Kuya!